All right, what is going on, everyone? And welcome back to Mets Weekly as we are live at this very moment on YouTube and on X for the latest New York Mets news this offseason. Before we get into it, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to the Mets Weekly YouTube channel for new episodes of our podcast that are regularly live now at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Fridays, regularly, even though it has been a little bit hectic this last week. For those of you watching or listening on playback, you want to join the conversation in the future, make sure to turn on those post notifications to know when we go live, which also includes live reaction shows to off-season moves that are not available on audio, but only on our YouTube channel. Make sure to follow Mets Weekly on X and on TikTok for more content over there. But without further ado, let's get into the latest breaking news. The Mets have now added to their outfield after this conversation has been a deep one for quite a while, and they have now made a move at near midnight on the East Coast for Andrew. This is Central Time, so about near 11 o'clock for you. The Mets have acquired outfielder Luis Robert Jr. from the Chicago White Sox. They will be sending over infielder Luisangel Acuña, who they acquired in the Max Scherzer trade a few years ago, and right-handed pitcher Truman Pauley, as well as the Mets absorbing all of his $20 million salary for 2026 and withholding his 2027 team option, also worth $20 million. The Mets add to the outfield. They bring in a trusted center fielder defensively. We'll get into all the breakdowns and whatever, but Andrew, you have been beating the drum for a guy like Luis Robert for a while. I mean, again, the Mets needed to make a move for this outfield. We have seen the Mets attached to Robert for a while. It finally happens, and we'll see what they get from here. But again, I would say this does help the team.
It was a need. You did not have major league outfielders on this roster. You had Juan Soto, you had Tyrone Taylor, Jared Young, and then you're banking on Carson Bench, which happy birthday, Carson Bench. It was needed. You needed to add at least one outfielder. They needed to add at least one outfielder, and now you can at least put out a major league outfield that consists of three major league baseball players. Obviously, Juan Soto, Tyrone Taylor, and now Luis Robert. The price to acquire, again, it was nothing. Luisangel Acuña, who does not belong in the major leagues, or at least on a competitive major league team, to get ABs. Now he can go to the White Sox and play with Colson Montgomery potentially up the middle. For them to have, an interesting up the middle combo and give him everyday playing time, potentially, or him or Chase Mydroff playing second base, which is fine. And then a pitcher that 99.9% of the fan base has never heard of, including myself. I didn't even know who this dude is. So he had to take on the full contract, which at worst can be a 1-year, $20 million deal, or you have to buy out as well. But you're telling me, would I rather have Austin Hayes on a 1-year deal for like $12 million or Luis Robert on a 1-year, $22 million deal? I would rather take the lottery ticket as well as clearing up a roster spot in Luisangel Acuña for a player who does not fit on this roster. You needed to have to get out of. So you're telling me the price is low and you have the upside. And what we have to bank on is, for at least the ceiling, is the last time this player was in a playoff caliber lineup, we saw him be that MVP potential in 2022, 2023, when that one time the White Sox went for it and they made the playoffs, they played the A's in the playoffs, and he had that really good year. And then he becomes an uncompetitive team and playing an uncompetitive baseball, and he doesn't seem to care. And I said it in the past when it came to the trade deadline. We've seen guys like Andrew Vaughn. We've seen guys like Evan Sheets. As soon as they get out of Chicago, they finally seem to hit that potential. I am not having the expectations of this has to get back to hitting 30 home runs and being that, potential top 15 MVP candidate that he was in 2023, especially for the bar that we've had at center field. If you could give me elite defense, which he can provide, and continues the at least up the middle elite run prevention idea that David Stearns wants with now Simeon Lindor and now Robert in center. And if you're telling me he could pop 20 homers and at least give me a 700 OPS, which I know he hasn't done over the last 2 years, but in a deeper lineup where potentially, if you want to live in fantasy land, they add another bat in this lineup and he's hitting, let's say, 7 or 8 in a deeper lineup with protection, like I think there's a possibility that he gets back to that. And hey, you get 2 years of it at $20 million, which especially we've seen with the going prices of what agencies are priced at. Friggin' Bo Bichette's making $42 million. We're seeing how free agency is exploding. $20 million 4 years ago seems like an overpay. Who knows? So, but again, it's an upside move. You had to do it. And it gives you the protection if you don't land Cody Bellinger. At least you've added an outfielder. And now you don't have to put as much pressure to say, Carson Bench, you have to make the team out of camp. Now at least, it's not great, but you have 3 major league outfielders that can play through April, and you can get away with it of having 2 elite defenders in Robert and Tyrone Taylor. And obviously you've got Soto and Wright being a generational hitter. You can at least now feel at least somewhat comfortable in a major league outfield.
I mean, it's really a low risk, high reward type of feeling. I think that we're all really getting here. Again, we do know that it does come up with some warts because he has not been perfect these last 2 seasons. And I think we all can just address the elephant in the room, like right away. I mean, over these last 2 seasons, he has not been great. And even though we have not seen the great offensive production that we saw back in 2023 or 2022, there's been some injury problems as well in there, slashing 223, 288, 372, 84 weighted runs created, plus a combined 1.8 wins above replacement over these last 2 seasons, and that is over 210 games. So he's had a few injuries there. He's going to be going into a 28-year-old season, obviously. However, in the margins, this looks like a little bit better of a fit, and the main reason as to why I say that is more of the fact that we get base running, obviously, from possibly the bottom part of the lineup, maybe batting 6th, batting 7th, as well as some other factors that we can add in here. Obviously, like I said, these last 2 years that he has had, but also, if you were to look at this certain platoon that the Mets really, really struggled to face, and that being left-handed pitching, a 130 weighted runs created plus against left-handed pitching, even in a career down year for him. And it just, again, against right-handed pitching, not the best. Let's just say that. Maybe there's ways that they can iron this out. However, there is still some things to obviously like. He's been kind of in the mid-tier with some of these exit velocities. However, I will say that the overall quality of contact definitely improved towards the end of the year, kind of similar to what we saw with Marcus Semien towards the end of the year as well. Obviously, with him being a veteran, this guy being a lot, a lot younger. We did see a career high in walks from him, so he's a little bit more patient. However, we still do have a little bit of swing and miss in his game. There's a little bit more of the all or nothing. However, he does have that profile that a lot of the Mets hitters, it seems like that they're going after, a lot of pulling the ball in the air. When we saw a career high 24.5% pull air rate from Luis Robert, that was by far his best season, where I believe he hit 38 home runs, drove in 80 runs. He had a 129 weighted runs created plus. That was one of his best seasons. He also, his second pull air year, which was 2021, he had his career best year. So it's all really just about that quality of contact, pulling the ball in the air, which is something that is usually the most efficient for a lot of these stand-up hitters. We know that he does struggle a lot, and I mean a lot, against secondary stuff. There's a lot of swing and miss there. However, when he does make contact, when he does give you that type of quality, xWOB is over 300, over league average for all of those triple threat splits. However, we will see where they can go in. But the one main reason as to why he can give you so much of an asset is obviously this 90th percentile speed, and of course his 90th percentile outs above average or range overall, which gives you defense in center field. It gives you possibly a 40 stolen base type of player. And to be honest, we all know from when he was a prospect, when he originally was a prospect, there was 40-40 potential from a guy like this. I'm not saying that he's going to do it. I don't know if he will, but 40-40, do you know the anomaly? That rare mix of power and speed, that is what Luis Robert was as a prospect initially. I don't think he's going to tap into that completely. However, it's worth a shot. You have 1 year of him making $20 million, and the biggest risk is that Luisangel Acuña becomes his brother on the White Sox, which I don't think is going to end up happening. Or Truman Pauley becomes the next Nolan Ryan, and Luis Robert becomes Jim Fregosi. So that's basically what you're looking at as of right now. You don't really have much risk involved with it. You really don't, and it's a really good fit for this roster. We obviously had a little bit of concern coming from Chicago over these last few years. And if, Andrew, I'm going to swing it over to you. Obviously, this is going to be an elephant in the room that we all know is going to be talked about. The work ethic talks about him in Chicago. It's not a great situation in Chicago. It hasn't been for years. However, is it a possibility of boredom? Was it a possibility of disinterest? Was it a possibility of maybe he's just not healthy? Who knows? All I know is that if you show that lack of effort in New York, they're going to come for your head. So I'm not just going to say that this is an all smooth sailing move. It fits. It can help the team. It can help the team, like I have been saying about Luis Robert. I believe that it can help the team. However, there is a possibility that this could go south. There is a possibility. There's not much risk in it, but there is a possibility.
Like, again, I'm not saying this is a good thing, and I'm like just excusing it. But let's say you're one of the most exciting prospects in the game. You get called up to a team that's competitive, that was good. You had friends that were also developed in your farm, in that same farm system. You guys are great. Your first year, you go to the playoffs, and all your friends just die. That's kind of what happened to Luis Robert, where all his friends got picked away or traded or regressed, and he was the last guy stuck on the island. And we want to say about, the stuff like that. Who are like, and it's kind of a similar situation to what the Mets had last year. Who are the leaders in the Chicago White Sox locker room? There are none, because most of those rosters were 4A players, prospects, or just god-awful, quad A, Walmart employees. And the guy that was supposed to be the leader is the 24-year-old. And that being in Robert. So it's not a good look. Trust me, it is not a good look to be like out of, not caring for what you do. But if you're playing in the Andrew Benintendi, they signed it was what, 3 years they signed Andrew Benintendi. Oh my God. The biggest contract in that franchise's history, by the way. But yes, I'm not excusing that, just not caring or not having, the love. But if you're going to go to a team, and especially those White Sox teams where you're losing 120 times a year, I mean, are you putting your full-on effort and heart into it? Like, no, like,
who knows?
I can understand it. But now, again, we talked about it. Now he's going to a team, especially in this offseason, that has addressed leadership. And now you put him next to one of the best international superstars. Yes, I know Robert is Cuban, and obviously Soto's Dominican. But those Latin guys love hanging out with each other.
Yeah, you put him next to Tyrone Taylor, one of the best international superstars. And Tyrone absolutely.
Taylor, got to put him next to TT as well. Yeah. But you compare him with Soto, and again, like we make the joke, and we've made the joke all the time about like Soto always around Marte. How bet when we're going to be in spring training in a few weeks, you will not see Luis Robert less than 2 feet away from Juan Soto. Like, That is going to be the fit, and you need that. And again, you add a guy like Marcus Semien and his leadership into this room. We've all the way to Jorge Polanco, another guy who he can look up to as a veteran in that locker room. Again, I expect, and again, we saw it happen last year in this locker room, but again, completely different team, new leadership, that there are going to be accountability. And again, this team is trying to compete. And maybe that getting him back into a playoff environment, hopefully, knock on some wood, playoff environment, get to see shades. Not completely has to go back to, that prime MVP, just shades of being an above average league hitter and you giving me that elite defense in center field. Especially, look at the center fielder that we've watched the last 10, 15 years as a Met. If he sucks, he's the next Jake Marisnik, Jose. We do this every year. So if this sucks, we just recycle it. But at least in this perspective, unlike Jose Siri, unlike Jake Marisnik, unlike, Alejandro De Aza, this dude has played close, at least shown in the past, to play at an MVP level. Yeah. It's like, he's like his best hitting, Tuesday. He's going to be a top 15 MVP candidate one year. Like, the talent's in there. And you get him onto a team with better coaching, better analytics, because damn well the White Sox aren't the most analytically driven team. You get him in this, web of, creativity that is the Mets now. You maybe get more out of him, and you get the best version of him, hopefully. And again, if you get that MVP candidate, and he's hitting sixth, like, it's a boom or a bust. But again, like we've said all the time, and just in a broad sense, it's really a one-year deal, and there is no such thing as a bad one-year deal, especially in a trade situation where it costs you nothing that is substantial.
Yeah, I mean, especially if they're not completely done, and we all know that they likely aren't because they still are attached on the pitcher market. I don't know what this means about the market for Cody Bellinger. We're going to get into that in a second, but I do want to go over to the chat here because I feel like I'm ignoring you guys. My apologies here. Paul Revere in the set in here saying, great move, gave up a pinch runner who barely had a place to play. Absolutely. We talked about the conglomerate of infielders. They needed to move somebody. And Acuña out of minor league options, it made sense that that would end up doing so. We've got Michael Barton saying that he's going to go off playing on a championship aspirations with proven stars. I'm stoked. Listen, and that's what we hope. That's really what we hope, that, we can untap that certainty as to where we can get what we know, how we know that, he is capable of doing so. Ricardo saying great value, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Luis Robert Jr., not mad at this trade. You didn't give up much. You really didn't. Derpy, love that name. Derpy saying, I'm going to be for real. It's a good vet piece, but seriously, what has this man done in a while? He hasn't done much recently. He really hasn't. And they're going to have to try and tap into that talent. However, he's only 28 years old, so we will see, however, what ends up being the situation, but he doesn't need to be the top guy on this team. He doesn't. He needs to bat seventh and give you maybe seven hole type of production in this lineup. So again, he's in a better situation now. Let's see if that hopefully pays off. And if it doesn't pay off, you get rid of him. It was 1 year. That's it. You decline the club option. Cost you $2 million. I don't like saying it's only money, but when it comes to Steve Cohen, and if they are willing to go over that $400 million threshold that it seems like they're going at the pace that they are going, it is only money in that sense, as to where we've already seen the Mets flush so much down the toilet. However, Michael's saying he's done nothing lately, but I can't imagine how that clubhouse was if they shit on ours as hard as they did. Also, his ceiling is high. Exactly. No brainer. Saying Paul Revere, saying maybe they let, I think he's saying letting Benj hit against righties if he is ready. I don't think this is going to be a platoon for $20 million. I don't see them platooning. I think that with this trade, off the top of my head, I think that they see Benj as a left fielder. I think it's pretty evident that they see Benj as a left fielder, and that doesn't completely take them out of the Bellinger conversation, per se. Let's be real for a second, because if Bellinger is your starting left fielder on opening day, it is one of those situations where if you have Benj come up, let's say in May or June, Bellinger can move to first, Polanco can DH, then you're like, okay, what can I do with Mark Vientos here? Maybe Mark Vientos gets moved because he's out of minor league options. Maybe he goes in one of the next moves that they do. We'll see what happens in that sense. However, we'll see. Get a front line starting pitcher and another high-leverage bullpen arm and fill out the bench, and let's go. Listen, I'm hoping that there's more moves on the way because I do think that there's some areas that they should fill. However, we'll just see what happens alongside with Bellinger. I will say that the dimensions of this team got better. Again, you got speed, you got defense. I've talked about it before with, Bo Bichette moving over to third base, with Polanco possibly playing first base. David Stearns did this before in Milwaukee, where he had elite defense up the middle. So you have Lindor, Simeon, elite defense up the middle. You have elite defense from Luis Robert up the middle for you. And then he puts, good overall athletes in less taxing range positions, which we saw him do that before. I don't know how that, again, applies to the situation with Bo Bichette. I don't know how that applies to the situation with Brett Beatty. But you know what? Everybody will say that he's an athlete and he can walk on water. Let's see. Watching the White Sox stream. Probably, I don't know if you're watching that, but what's going on, Mike Smith? Air Weber, geez, I'm tired, guys. It's past midnight. Air Weber saying, late, I am jumping around all Mets YTs. I had to stop by and see what you guys thought. And also to LOL about our last conversation about the White Sox and Robert. Yeah, listen, I'd say that, again, I like it. I do. I do like it. I think it helps the team. I think that there's a low floor here, though. There still is a low floor because we've seen pretty bad from him. However, with Robert, and it's pretty much the same as Taylor, he doesn't really need to hit to contribute to a team like this because, again, you have other guys to do the heavy lifting offensively. However, I don't want to see him be swinging a pool noodle for $20 million. You know what I mean? Like, there's limits to this. There is limits to this. However, I think that it's a better fit as compared to him being this frontline star on the White Sox with no protection, not a single team. The team has been horrible for the past, 3 years? So, I mean... Yeah.
Longer, man.
Again, there's upside to this. There's a way that this can work for him. This is the way that he can be better, but we'll just see. Ricardo saying, I would jump for joy with 25 home runs, 75 RBIs, and a 245 average. We'd love it. We would love it. We would 100% love it. M. Easy saying Robert Jr. has never been in a lineup like this. He has not. And even when he was somewhere close where they had all that young talent at one point, he was thriving. He really was. Ricardo saying, am I wrong for wanting a major league caliber left fielder? You're not wrong. You definitely aren't wrong. You could get it from Cody Bellinger. You never know. Could that be a situation where they do it? I don't know. Again, I don't know if they sign Cody Bellinger. We saw reports about Cody Bellinger coming towards a decision. Maybe the Mets were shuffled off the table and they pivoted to Robert. I don't know. But there still is an avenue for Bellinger to be on this team. We'll see if that ends up happening. M. Easy saying you can still sign a Laureano, Austin Hayes, or trade for Newbar for left field to protect yourself if Benj struggles. You could. I'd say that Bellinger probably just fits the best in this because if you want to give Benj a try, Bellinger can move over to first base, like I've already said, and Benj could play left field because they view him as a left fielder. That's kind of how I'm getting at, because from what I'm seeing is Benj could play center field. He could man down center field, but he's not the run preventing type of center fielder that you would put ideally up the middle, or something ideally that a guy like David Stearns would want in center field in comparison to a guy like Taylor or Robert or Siri or Bader, or like all these guys that he has brought in so far that are supposed to be run prevention center fielders. Benj is a good athlete. He's an above average athlete. I'd say he's a jack of all trades type of player, but I think he's best suited in left field. I do believe so. And that, I feel like that's their need. And that's where they think it's like, okay, maybe he's just better suited as a left fielder for now. Maybe he plays a little bit of right field if they want to move Soto over to left field. I'm not complaining because Soto's not the best right fielder either. But we'll see how they look at it. We'll see what happens with Brett Baty because that's still up in the air. I'd say that his starting job pretty much completely goes away if you were to sign Bellinger. But still, he's still in the conversation of, well, maybe he could play first base or left. And we're going to get into Brett Baty in this upcoming podcast episode of what they're going to do with him. However, the way that they can form up this roster, it's looking a lot better now. You've now added 4 bats. 4 bats. So not bad. I did have a post that I said about the 4th bat has to be to match up the production of the team, and I'll get into that in a second. But Eric's saying, what about Baty now? We don't know. We have no idea what the deal is going to be. Could he be in a trade for a top-line pitcher? We don't know. Could he be getting reps in left field? Who knows? Could there be an injury that puts him back into the equation? Who knows? We have no clue. There always is in spring. It always seems like these guys get off the plane or get off the bus and they tear their ankle in half. So you just never know. You'd never know. Could Baty just be a full-time guy on the bench? I don't think that's going to help at all, but I feel like if a young player is going to be up here, they should be playing every day, which is the main reason as to why Mauricio and Acuña were here for absolutely no reason towards the end of the season. But we'll see. I mean, Laureano's not a free agent, but there has been talks about San Diego moving.
Yeah. This is kind of like maybe a smaller thing. Like we've seen the younger guy. Like the Dodgers do not play. They keep their minor league, their young players. Don't rush. Like they keep their dudes just rotting away in AAA. I mean, the young thing is it is interesting, and you want to obviously give them like. Are you in a win now move or not? Like, I think, and this is just me being me, you don't make room for young players. Young players make the moves to make young players make you put them in.
They force your hand.
You want to exactly. Exactly. I'm not. We've seen it before. So Brett, he'll get an opportunity because Marcus Semien is 90 years old and he's putting a Met uniform on. He's going to have Jed Lowry knee soreness, spring training, missed 2 months. There's an opportunity to play second base. There's opportunity. Bo Bichette is not a defensive third baseman. Brett will get opportunities playing third base once we see a Bo Bichette 3-error game. So the fact that he might be on the bench, but if he's in the McNeil role of get Semien 1 day off his feet, he's playing second. All right, Bo, get him off his feet, he's playing third. If they want to experiment with him in left field, which fine. Give him as more defensive versatility as possible. You want to give him a rep out a game he'll get his playing time. We're not the Dodgers. Playing time will be available. We're not like Shohei, Mookie, Tucker. No, we have our 2 generational guys, but everyone else is going to be moving around. We've got vets who are learning new positions. We still have some young players trying to.
You just want to shove them down my throat, don't you? That's all you want. That's literally all you want. Anyways, the Mets can still get Belly. They can. We haven't gotten any reports of this doesn't take them out of the conversation yet. Are they out?
No, I was saying we haven't gotten those. I thought it was
Oh, okay.
No.
There's just a delay on the thing, so I thought you were okay.
I was just reiterating what you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah,
But again, like it's
Um,
and like the Robert thing,
here's
again, it's just it. What do you got?
90th percentile or better in both outs above average and bat speed. Luis Robert Jr., Wilson Contreras, Julio Rodriguez. Julio.
Julio, you the bird.
Yeah, play him at first base. Polanco can DH, and then you have But I would say that Polanco would be your opening day first baseman, and somebody would DH. Somebody else would DH. I don't know who would DH, but
yeah,
because I do not want Ben starting in the majors this year. I don't.
Unless he raked in spring training, and you're just like, you have to. And like that was the main thing. Unless he, speaking of the devil, unless he Julio's his way on this team, because Julio again, go back to my boy, he never played a game in AAA. He played 33 games in AA. He came into spring training and raked and took the job. That's the only way I see Carson Benj being on this opening day roster. Is he just?
The only thing is that when you set the table for a guy like Carson Benj, and again, I'm not gonna say that the table is completely set. He did struggle results wise in AAA. However, the data was there. If you want to do a little bit of a rundown of him in AAA, I mean, he still showed why he is such a why he is such a frontline prospect in AAA. The exit velocities were there. Didn't really see as much of the pole fly balls here, but we saw the speed and the power and the overall bat speed that we were seeing in AA. And again, he struggled a little bit. However, he was still putting some good wood, giggity, on some pitches. So, can Polanco play left field? I wouldn't recommend it. Definitely wouldn't.
No.
I don't know if he's played left field before, but he's played all around the infield before as well. So, again, defensively, I think that they're shored the defense up the middle now with Robert here. By the way, for those of you who follow me on Twitter, this is the guy that I was anonymously going after on Twitter.
I wonder who it's go. Oh,
ooh,
I know that guy.
Something stinks, doesn't it? Oh well. Go off, Brody. Go off, Billy Epler. Anyways,
he's got tools. But I guess I want to bring it up because there was that interview with the Hispanic guy that was in the organization, the front office, saying the Mets were going to add two outfielders. So there's at least one.
Were they?
I think it was two outfielders.
I don't think that was. I feel like that was misinterpreted. I don't know. Like,
it's not. That's not what again. Family said it was two outfielders, and they want the defensive versatility, or at least positional versatility. So you do have.
Thanks for everything, Lou Bob.
Lou Bob. There you go.
Yeah.
God. So again, we get dude. What a 10-minute span getting that Bo Bichette hype video, and then like 20 minutes later, the freaking Robert news drops.
Yeah.
Kind of lit. But everyone's like thinking it's Bellinger. But like, I guess we could talk a little bit about Belly because we are on Belly Watch. Like you said, again, he can still easily fit. And then this lineup, if you add Bellinger as well, and then if you want to bench hits, and it's like you're in a world where the worst hitter is going to could potentially be Marcus Semien or Luis Robert. Imagine being
Actually,
in a situation
Beatty. Beatty, you'll definitely be your worst
hitter.
He's
not here in this lineup. He's
gonna.
No, because he wouldn't be.
He's gonna.
He'd be on the bench.
He will be the worst hitter in the lineup. Yeah, by far.
Luis Torrens exists, brother. It's okay. Or Alvarez exists. It's okay. But like there's
Alvarez
a world.
Alvarez is gonna rake.
Well, no, Eric Chavez is still gonna find a way to sneak and just be like a ghost in the background for Alvarez.
Yeah.
But like a projected line, like if they were to get Bellinger, and let's say Benj does get called up and he's productive, Lindor, Soto, Bichette, Polo, Bellinger, Alvarez, Robert, Benj, Semien. Like imagine that's your lineup. Like where's the easy out? Like that's a productive
Beatty.
1 through 9.
Beatty.
He's taking Starling Marte's job.
I don't want any parts of Valdez. The guy is a jerk. Listen, that's probably the main reason as to why his market's so low, to be honest. Why he's fallen. His market has fallen as much as it has, probably because of that incident that happened last year where he crossed up his own pitcher and gave up a home run. Listen, I do think that Valdez...
He's exactly what the team needs.
Yeah, it's Valdez, again, I wouldn't be opposed to it at all because it's what this team needs. The guy's a horse of an arm. And we've talked about it. Like this rotation doesn't necessarily just need an ace, a bona fide ace. They need a horse, a guy who can just go out there every single 5 days, go 6 innings, give you 180 innings, make 30 starts. That's what Valdez has done. But again, I feel like there's concerns about everything. Like with the Bo Bichette situation, I have concerns about his defense at third base because we haven't seen him play third base, and also at the shortstop, he's been horrendous since the beginning of his career. So I think, again, same thing goes with Robert. There's risks here involved. But the risk is not very, very high. With Valdez, high AV deal, we'll see.
Giving up draft
I don't
picks
know.
As well.
Giving up a draft pick.
Qualifying offer, so.
Could there be a pot? I mean, to be honest, it makes sense for them to dangle Beatty in a Skubal or Peralta deal. But we are Brett Beatty, so it's not going to happen. Paul Revere saying, I like Beatty, actually pretty high on him this year. I think everybody's high on him this year because of the recency bias. But again, I never have been high on Beatty. I've been very, very, very public about that.
There's a prospect video where you were slurping him off, and there was audio clips loving him. So that is fake news right there. Find the video. Top prospect video 4 years ago. You were on your knees. It was great. Wrong. Caught in 4K.
Guys, it's way too late.
Definitely.
It's way too late. It's way too late. Yeah.
I guess there's one more thing. I guess to kind of go back to the Framber thing. Like I did bring up, if the Mets do sign him, they lose a draft pick. Could this be, and this is maybe me just 4D chess. Again, I did hear some people talk about this. Like, there is a world where if McClain wins Rookie of the Year or Benj, you have two guys that potentially winning Rookie of the Year. Like, you're getting extra draft picks from that. So it's like, you can afford to give up, let's say, if you want Framber to sign.
Well, you also signed Wendy Asigan this year.
Season, yeah.
So like, he's the number one international prospect.
Yeah. But like you're losing the picks, whatever, for the qualifying offer, but yet you can pick up more picks if McClain or Bench hits. So like you do have that benefit of, okay, you can give up a few, your seventh, whatever. Let's say Benj or McClain win Rookie of the Year, you get some of those picks back. So like there is kind of that, like, okay, like you give the picks, but like if Benj or McClain, which you would expect McClain at least to finish top 3 in Rookie of the Year, there's a pick right there you're getting back for compensation. So like there is that kind of
pick for Diaz,
in that,
yeah.
And they get the pick for Diaz, so it's like, what happened with Newt?
Who would go in Newt?
Left. They want pitching, so it'd probably be Well,
they love their hefty lefties, so Santucci.
No, what's the other kid? Not Wettinger. The guy below Wettinger, like maybe a Will. Like they'd probably ask for Will Watson. That's probably where they would start. They want pitching.
Brandon Gurton,
maybe. Like obviously, we saw again Bleacher Report being god awful. Which again, love Bleacher Report. Like they had the mock trade of Newt Barr for Mauricio, and I'm like, do you not know what the St. Louis Cardinals are? They are trying to get rid of second base shortstop dudes. They don't need another. It's like they are trying to get rid of second basemen, shortstops, third basemen. Like they have their guys.
I just look at how the lineup adds up, and I'm just seeing like all these projected lineups. I'm seeing Beatty at first base. It's like, why?
Well, we got
it's just one of those like it's like
Polanco playing first.
It's like it's like one of those like those like ant eating holes. You know what I mean? Like it's just like a tiny hole. You're like, why, bro? Like, really? We're really this high on this? Like, really? Like this
because
is the
he's
guy.
Actually 6'3", he can play
a career
base.
88 weighted runs created plus bat.
No,
who's had two scattered good months throughout his entire career.
No, wrong.
And and his breakout season was barely better than the sophomore slump of Mark Vientos, who can't even field a ground ball. And his defense is inferior to Ronnie Mauricio, who is off of 1 year removed from an ACL tear. Like, this is the guy we're betting on, guys.
Mauricio's never
this
done
is
anything.
it.
It's a high floor white dude. That's what we need.
It's a low ceiling.
We need Alec Boehm. We just need a good defensive Alec Boehm. Just sit him in the corner. That's what we need.
He's got potential.
I mean, hey, Jose Iglesias
right now,
hit 300 at age 38.
If you look at Fangraphs, you got Lindor at shortstop, Soto right field, Bo Bichette third base, Jorge Polanco first base, Marcus Semien second base, Beatty is at DH, which is just fucking hilarious. Alvarez at catcher. They have Robert batting eighth, and then Benj in left field. So, well, we'll see. And then this bench has got to be improved. They got to improve this bench.
Like that once they here's
you can't just fill it with prospects.
No, they need once they flip Vientos. I will not be shocked if they sign a Ty France. Do not be shocked once they ship Vientos out of here. Do not be just because of the defensive first baseman. Like, it's not going to be sexy. It is just pure defensive insurance for Polanco. It's not going to be expensive. I'm not doing it for the bat. I'm literally just doing it for the defensive insurance for Polanco at first base.
You want a backup first baseman?
Yes, you need a backup first base. Oh, if you got guys that don't know how to play a position, he's not a first baseman. He's a third baseman.
No, apparently he is a first baseman. According to Matt's Twitter right now, he's a first baseman.
I mean, according to David Stearns, he's literally just playing. Throw every player in a blender, and we're going to give you a new position.
They could sign Ty France. They will get Cody Bellinger. They'll still find a way to have Beatty on this team. He's going to pitch for us.
He's Kelly Johnson. That's what it's exactly two ways.
He's going to pitch for. We're going to put him in center field because Robert. We decided we're going to put him on the IL. Somehow we're going to have him here. Oh, we're going to option him down to AAA, but he's coming. He's coming. Oh, we injured a pitcher. A pitcher got injured. Oh, let's bring up Brett Beatty. He'll help.
That arm tap throwing 100 from the dude. Make him a two-way, bro. Make him the next Ohtani.
Never sell high, always drag him low. What is his numbers at Citi Field, Robert? Robert's numbers at Citi Field.
He's only played a few games. I don't think he's played many games.
Robert career.
He didn't do anything in the 3 games this year. He didn't do anything in 3 games at Citi. They got one hit this week. This is the series against they played this year.
Complete. I'm just ready for him to swipe some bags, man. What was the ask for him at the trade deadline last year?
AJ Ewing, Vientos, or it was AJ Ewing.
Speaking of, I think Ewing's a lot more of a center fielder than.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was he's just holding it for Ewing, and Benj is going to play left. So. Speed and defense and center. That's what AJ Ewing's going to be, and that's what Robert can be for 2 years.
You mean or at least speed and defense?
Speed and defense, but I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if we got 3 or 4 more of these before spring training. But like David, can we get this all done? I'm trying to put the spring training book together so I don't have to keep going through college. Let's just get this all done.
Robert is a $18 million luxury tax hit, by the way. He is not $20 million.
Okay.
He's payroll $20 million, and it's like a $2 million buyout. He would be a $20 million luxury tax hit next year if they were to pick up his option. So there was a tweet from John Heyman here. Let me pop this up.
You know what's dumb is that this is what I think you're gonna tweet. Yeah.
He said their gamble to pick up Robert's $20 million option it paid off. It got you Acuña and Truman Pauley. Like, what? I mean, I'm sure. Listen, I am sure Truman Pauley is a nice guy. I'm sure he's a swell fella. But
no Met, 99.9% of Met fans do not know who this dude is.
He was our 12th round pick last year. He had a 2.08 earned run average, but his FIPPs were 5. He only he pitched 4 innings. Never mind.
That's not the guy from Missouri, right? That's not the guy from like 20 minutes where I'm from?
No, he was from Harvard.
Harvard, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean,
you know who I think is better than him, though?
Who?
You know who I think is better than him?
Oh, boy. Oh, God. Where is this going?
Where is it? Where is he? Hold on. Yari.
Yeah.
Who did we get for McNeil?
Oh God, what the hell is that? Oh, what the hell is that dude's name? Oh God. I already forgot my favorite prospect's name. Shit.
Yeah,
who cares? Dude, we don't even
name. What the hell?
Some 18-year-old dude. I mean, he's probably gonna get lost in Kmart one day. Who cares? He got rid of Jeff McNeil, so he's valuable. But I mean, it is late. So and David Stearns, can we? I mean, yeah, but David Stearns, can we stop doing these either late night or like early ass o'clock when I'm at work? Like, dude, you can drop a casual 2 o'clock news.
You can drop a deuce, like
you can say, you know what? It's 2 o'clock on a Monday or a Wednesday. Let's just get this done. Enough with these late night, let's just drop a bomb right before everybody's trying to go to bed. Like the passing, and it wasn't a passing bomb. Like this was like a passing fart, but like enough. Like let's get some stuff where there's light out.
For Tong. There's no way they asked for Tong.
Oh,
man.
they'd be stupid. That would literally, but they. I mean, they might.
How did it go from Tong
to Acuña?
To Acuña, it probably was the fact that they asked for Tong, so they could cover some of the money. Yeah. So they're like, we'll cover $11 million of this, but we also take Tong.
Even if you pay 99% of the contract, you're not getting Jonah Tong. Like maybe after 2023, after the 40 homer years, yeah, but not. Yeah, they were just smoking. If they were actually asking for Jonah Tong, I mean, just. Chris Getz is an idiot, but you know what? He got proper value for him, and hopefully their trash is our trash.
We'll see. Steroids take Luis Robert. I don't know if you're it looks like you're a Dodgers fan. If he has been taking steroids, I don't think it really helped him because he has not really been doing well.
No, I think his steroids got deferred to 2039, so it'll be all right.
Truman Pauley. Is there anything about this guy that we know of?
I honestly didn't even know who he was.
Let's see if there's anything of scouting on him. See if we gave up anything good.
Like those 93.
Let's see. Not bad fastball. Guys, we're gonna stay on for about 10 more minutes. So get your comments in. Mets acquire Luis Robert Jr. from the White Sox. Luisangel Acuña is going the other way, along with Truman Pauley, their 12th round pick from last year in the MLB draft. He's a 5-pitch guy. Yeah, he throws 93 to 94 on the fastball, but he does have 19 inches of induced vertical break, so that is somewhat sexy, but he comes from kind of a 3/4 delivery. Nothing completely special. Seems like the peripherals was not that fantastic for him. He pitched 4 innings last year for this team, so it's whatever. You got to give to get, right? I don't think we'll see if Truman Pauley is, So the Mets trade a Luisangel for a Luis.
I mean, Truman Pauley at least is a really recognizable name, or it's like a memorable. Like if it was like Doug Smith, be like, who cares? Like Truman Pauley, at least is a cool name. At least the guy's got that going for him, at least.
All right, so if you were to plug in the 2025 production from Luis Robert Jr., I don't really think it would really do much for you, but
no,
probably not. But
I mean, you could say that he is better than Cedric Mullins. So, improvement?
I guess. I mean, you do get rid of a bat if you want to call him a bat, in Luisangel Acuña. But
dude, them winter ball highlights definitely boosted his fucking trade value.
That may have been it. He's still there, right?
His winter ball is crazy. Them 4 home runs.
They still have 4
home run games. I want that guy. Yeah,
he's in winter ball right now. 4 home run
games. They say that guy.
He probably is playing right now in winter ball.
Probably.
And he heard about the trade. Like, that's crazy.
He's like, I'm going to the Cubs.
Passes you by, doesn't
it? Oh. And he's like, you going to Chicago? Cool. The Cubs? No. Oh.
God damn it. Let's see. Stolen.
I'll give. Yeah. What?
The stolen base quota. We did upgrade that from going from Acuña to Robert. So there's that.
Yeah, it's instead of X.
We did upgrade the home runs because Luisangel Acuña didn't get any.
No barrel, not a single barrel.
That's crazy. I'm just plugging it in.
If I'm going to say something, we've been burying the White Sox. I will say one positive thing about the White Sox is they are kind of building. Well, I mean, we hate Jerry Reinsdorf as much as the next person, but like they are building a solid. I guess you could call it a foundation. I mean,
they'll fuck it
like
up.
Colson Montgomery. I mean, they will, but like Colson Montgomery's been decent. You signed Murakami on a really cheap deal. Like Chase Majdroff was actually pretty good. Kyle Teal was pretty good. Like, at least a couple of things going for the White Sox.
Acuña was batting 157 before he hit those 4 home runs. All right, well, here's the look of it here. Let me yeah. Okay. So here's the look of it here as you are subtracting from this lineup here. You're now about 11 home runs short from this production. Now, this is just 150 plate appearances at minimum. So you're about 100 home run. You're about 11 home runs short. You are about, let's say, you have about like 27 RBI short or whatever. I did put out a tweet the other day, which, let me swing this over here. So I did put out a tweet the other day of what the Mets were missing in that 4th bat coming over to the lineup. It was like 20-ish home runs. Hold on. Yeah. So this was the same graphic that I just put out. 466 plate appearances. He had 431. They're missing 3 stolen bases from that, and they just upgraded. They have more stolen bases in comparison to last year by 14. And then the home runs went up. They are 11 home runs short. Even though you can probably regress it to the means and take away Tyrone Taylor maybe, or Ronnie Mauricio since he was an everyday starter. But they still need one more bat, because technically speaking, if you were to go over to their roster here, you still have Vientos. You have 2 infielders on the bench right now. And you also have a bum and Brett Beatty in your starting lineup. So, you never know. So we'll see how they switch that in and out. And then you also have the upside potential of maybe a bounce back from Mark Vientos if they were to keep him. You also have the bounce back potential of Francisco Alvarez, who has the upside there. Maybe you get a better year from Marcus Semien. You never know. We'll see. Woot woot, But either way, the Mets get their center fielder.
And still more work to be done. So I love David
Still
Stearns.
is work to be done.
I love fans were like, David Stearns, work on the pitching. David Stearns, I'm just going to load the lineup up. I'm going to blow the lineup up and build a new lineup. I don't really want to touch the pitcher.
I think he will touch the pitching, but he has to. Never mind. Okay. All right. Well, one more time, Mets acquire Luis Robert Jr., who it seems like they were attached to for like 7 years. From the White Sox in exchange for Luisangel Acuña and Truman, Pauley, their 12th round pick last year at the MLB draft, and Luisangel Acuña, who they acquired in the Max Scherzer trade. So to make a little bit of a trade tree here, the Mets traded Max Scherzer for Luisangel Acuña, and Acuña 2 years later got you Luis Robert Jr. So there you go. Woot woot. Yeah. And if Robert has a 30-30 season, you can thank Max Scherzer, but I wouldn't thank Max Scherzer because he was kind of a dick here.
I mean, we could also sign Max Scherzer.
Before tonight, had I ever heard of Truman Pauley? Sounds like a name for Jesse James' sidekick. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
exactly.
I do. I remember the name, but I don't remember anything about him. I remember the name because I had I had notes for the draft because I was making notes for the draft, but I don't really remember much about him. So it's whatever. You got to give to get. Not every single guy in your farm system can be on the major league roster, and that just goes to show that how much this farm system has been building up. That you can give up a guy who, I mean, they gave up somebody for international money a few days ago, actually, to sign Wandy Asaiyan. I still don't know.
You say a weird bird noise.
Yeah.
The Segan.
Yeah. So and this is also shocking. We were talking about this the last stream. This is the first trade they have made with the White Sox, major league transaction they've made with the White Sox since 2009. Crazy, huh?
Who the hell was that trade?
Ramon Castro to the White Sox.
My Darth Vader, yeah. Love me some Ramon Castro.
And I think they acquired Ramon Yohan Ramirez, I think they got for cash. Remember the guy that threw behind Rhys Hoskins? Yeah. So that was the latest trade they made, but technically major league transaction. Luis Robert Jr., because we all know that Reinsdorf is not a fan of Steve Cohen. He isn't at all.
No. But
we all don't like him.
Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, good job. Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate it. go die in a ditch. So
All
right.
Let's hope that the offense is better. They maximize these hitters, and they do better with us, and they don't perform like shit with us, and they become worse. Poll in the chat before we get going. I asked you guys about this trade. 77% of you are saying that you like it. 3% of you are saying you don't like it, and 20% of you are saying that you're 50-50. I understand being 50-50. I personally like it because I think it helps the team, and it makes the team better overall. Individually, he's obviously got to be better, and they're definitely banking on it. But again, the banking that they are making on it is a 1-year, $20 million deal that they could bring him back the next year as well if he does well. So you never know. And if he does well, that means that this lineup is going to be pretty damn good. Let's just say that, because we know that there's 30-30, possibly 40-40 potential from a guy like Luis Robert when he came into the league. He still has that power. We know that he does. He still has that speed. He still has the defense. So this is a type of guy who can be a big boom or bust. Maybe he is somebody that Alex Ramirez was supposed to become, but he never became. Yeah, I told you. Yeah.
Oh, God. Let's get the hell out of here.
Sucked that he didn't pan out, huh? But hey, what are you going to do? Either way, we'll see what next moves are next. We are going to go live on Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time for the next episode of our podcast. We're going to recap all of these moves that have been made. I'm going to go over the latest reports as well. It has been a crazy week, from the Tucker stuff, from the Bichette stuff, now on to Robert at the 11th hour of July 20th. I mean, it's just been nuts, completely nuts. However, we're all here for it. It's been a crazy offseason, and we're getting closer and closer to pitchers and catchers reporting, which is what, 25-ish days away, 24 days? You probably have this math better than me.
22.
All right. Well, 22 days away. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. For those of you who tuned in here late at night, you guys are awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and on TikTok for extra content over there. For those of you watching or listening on playback, you want to join the conversation live in the future, make sure to subscribe to the Mets Weekly YouTube channel. Turn on those post notifications to know when we go live. And finally, one more time, the Mets have acquired outfielder Luis Robert Jr. from the Chicago White Sox in exchange for Luisangel Acuña, infielder, and right-handed pitcher Truman Pauley. They will be going the other way, and the Mets will be covering his $20 million salary for 2026. Let's go, Mets, and we will see you guys next time.